Hey guys, it's your boy Deanpo. Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's doing well. And today we'll be discussing Season 1 additions that have changed this game forever, or at least until next season when the meta shifts again. So there's a couple of items that they've sort of shadow dropped into the game without telling anyone about it. And they do change the gameplay significantly, whether you're a budget player or not. The meta will change at least up until you enter Forbidden, the end game, right? That hasn't really shifted much. But there are items that have changed this game significantly. Now, before we get started though, massive thank you to you guys. Your support and your feedback has been invaluable. We are getting very close to that 10k sub mark. I think we're off by like 400 subs so far. So that is freaking huge. I'll be doing a huge giveaway at 10k and also my first ever live stream just in time for season 1, right? So thank you all. I appreciate you all. Thank you for putting in the time. Your time is the greatest gift you can give me, and I'm forever grateful for that. On a side note, come check out our Discord. We're now past 1,300 members, which is huge. It's been exploding lately with season 1, so always good to see new faces. Drop in, say hello, and maybe we can jam a few games together. I'll leave our link in the description below. Now, back to the items at hand. So what I'm going to do here, ladies and gentlemen, is I'll run you through what was added, at least from what I know so far. And the first and foremost is everyone knows scopes are freaking expensive. However, we now have a very crisp scope that it sells for very, very cheap. Enter the new ACOG, the 4 times. It's just such a crisp scope, and you can add it using the compact. I'll show you now here. So the compact here, actually, matter of fact, maybe I'll just do it this way. So you can grab any weapon, right? You get to modify it. You can change that. You need the compact universal side base. And boom, Bob's your uncle there. However, do note, this is only a 4 times. If you want to make it more than a 4 times, you can add a sight on top of it. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to equip my HK. And I'll showcase one with an incline sight and one with one just on top of the scope. And we can see which one's better. I expect this will plunge the other ACOG and everything else to be cheaper because it's such a clean scope. So if I go ACOG, or maybe I just go scope. So has it dropped already? No. Yeah. Oh, it used to be like 3640. Now it's 28. The hammer hasn't really dropped. All the other ones haven't really dropped. So this is by far the best option. We're only at 20k. 20k. Guys, you now have a scope for 20k. I don't want to hear any complaints anymore. It looks awesome. It feels awesome. Runs awesome. And it's cheap. Cheap as chips, ladies and gentlemen. Cheap as chips. I'll show you what it looks like now in game. I run it with an incline sight for the red dot. You can run it with a sight on top of it. It's entirely up to you. I'll showcase both. But first, gun modding. Give me another HK, please. We want that Deanpo build. Over here, though, we're going to go for compact. 4 times. Give me that reflex. It will end up costing you about the same anyway, so it's entirely up to you how you want to run it. Do I have a magazine for this one? Apparently not. Any magazine will do. There we go, perfect. So this here is just a scope. Look how clean that looks. Holy bro. Oof. And then you have the red dot there, which is utterly disgusting in this weapon. I made a build, my previous weapon was on this build. It's a mid-range build, but it performs like a top. That is beautiful. However, if you do opt to go for the sight on top, just as effective. So side by side here, this will have more ergonomics. That will have less ergonomics because it's 60 mag. But there's also a substitution for that as well, and we'll get to in a second. So I feel like the yellow dot probably feels better, runs better. Scope is amazing either way. Oh, look at that switch speed. I prefer this though. I don't know, it's switch. I just prefer the PK side. Freaking insane. All right, that brings us to item number 2. A lot of redundant helmets are now turning to be meta helmets, at least for lockdown and forbidden. Forbidden maybe not so much because you're still gonna be running your T6 helmets. But for now, you get helmets such as this that are actually useful. And what makes them useful, ladies and gentlemen? Enter DK8 military bulletproof. 36k, this is a bargain. T4 face mask, freaking amazing. Highly recommend. There is no reason to run the SH40 anymore, though the SH40 is still cheaper. If you are gonna run something cheap, I suggest you go for the helicopter helmet and you want to change it to like new, and it will drop down to like 60k, 50k or something. 59,000. That is an option. However, for lockdown now, you can run a KSS helmet. How much does this helmet go for at the moment? 51,000. Covers your ears almost. You can run a headset and you can run a T4 mask on it, and that's huge. That is freaking huge. At 36k, 40k helmet, that's better than the SH, ladies and gentlemen. Much better than the SH. I see these things being a game changer. Just the ability to be able to hear, because that's where the other helmets fell short. They didn't have the T4 mask. Now with the T4 mask being introduced, the meta has changed significantly. There is no reason for you to run anything else. Yes, headsets are still expensive. So if you want to get a good headset here, 35,000 to 40,000, maybe they'll drop, maybe they won't. But this is huge. Look how covered your ears are there. So this is awesome. Very good helmet. I would highly recommend you now give this helmet a go. I mean, it's a funky color because it stands out, but so what? Very good protection. It's got very low ricochet chance, but so what? It'll tank ammo anyway. And it's got decent durability on it, okay? So that's item number 2. Now, I offer you a solution to the 60 round mag problem. Oh, but the 60 round mags are awesome. There is no problem. There's a very huge problem with that. And we'll discuss in a second. So, these mags have gone up in value significantly. They were 53k earlier. They used to be 21,000 because these new guns run them and they absolutely busted. Because now you can run T3 ammo on a HK and absolutely melt anything and everything that moves. So, what's the workaround around these like 60 polymer drum mags? I mean, even the other magazines are just as expensive. So, always the other one that gives a bigger penalty to ergos. It's 51 there, 46 there, so that's slightly cheaper. Slightly cheaper, minus 5 ergonomics, minus 10 ergonomics. However, the 40 round drum mag is 5.4 and it has no penalties. No penalties. Now, what can you run this on? You can run it quite efficiently on one of these. Let me see if I'm still selling one or not. Market, armored. Pretty sure the Century 305 has a 3 slaughter in it. And you can run it quite efficiently. This is the best T4 armor you can get. You can trade for it. So there's no excuses not to run this mag. Like, no excuses. Or you can run the B4 TAC rig. B4 TAC rig sells for how much? 13,000. 13 freaking thousand. And you can have 240 round mags in there. Easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, ladies and gentlemen. So, these are my top 3 suggestions. These will change how you play the game and how other people play the game significantly. Like, it is just that good. Alright, next up, ladies and gentlemen, the AK-74N has significantly changed. Why? Look at this extended handguard. This makes the weapon a lot better. It gives you crazy good ergonomics on it. Crazy good ergonomics. Just look how much better it is than the... If you go for the modular locking extension, which used to be best in slot, you get minus 8 ergos. This one here will give you minus 2 ergos. For 9k, that is freaking huge, man. Absolutely huge. Now we have a new suppressor as well. A very cheap suppressor, if you do choose to go down that road. Otherwise, you can just go for the Hex here. Hex is a little bit better. Not by much, because if you look at the price point, it's really not that much of a difference, right? But it will impact your recoil. All right. You can also put incline scope on that one if you want it, if you want to run that cheap scope, but now there's no reason to run the cheap scope. Here, in terms of grips, not much change. I would still go for the vertical grip here. Triangular if you have the money. Otherwise, you don't have to. In terms of magazines, everything is more or less the same here, guys. I'll still go for the 60 mag there, but this is where it gets interesting. We used to pay 17k for that stock there. It used to give you 8, 11, and 5. Now we have a new stock here, which essentially gives you 11, 14, and 8. Or a huge one there that gives you 12, 17, and 5. However, look at this cheap ass stock here, 10, 13, and 5. And that is huge numbers. Huge numbers. So much better than the AK, high performance. It is better. It is cheaper. Much cheaper. And last but not least, we're still going to run the same grip there. So overall, this is a beautiful weapon. And if you're going to go for recoil, you just go there. Look at this AK. That looks sweet. I cannot wait to run this one. You can go for the triangle there because it gives you the least amount of penalty to ergonomics. But I would still go for the PK, guys. I feel like the PK is one of the best stocks. However, now you don't have to do that. Now you can go for a scope. And you got yourself a competitive weapon. A highly competitive weapon here at a budget price. So this whole build will cost me, let's see what. 78,000. 78,000, right? For a weapon that you can run in any situation, any given situation. That is huge. Holy moly, that is huge. This is going to be the new meta weapon for like cheap runs. Like this is cracked. This is freaking cracked, man. Let's see if it has impacted the RPK in any sense as well. No, the dedicated is dedicated. We do get the precision here. But is the precision better than the RPK stock? No, it's not. No, it's not. So there's no point to run the precision there. Interesting. Very interesting. Did we get anything else new on the RPK? No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Oh, we get a cheap suppressor now, if you so wish to run it. Interesting, guys. This is very interesting. Like, these are huge changes. This will impact the meta for sure. For sure. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, I bring to you another scope. And this scope will go on the T95 rifle. I feel like this weapon is not going to get much love anymore because now you can just pretty much... How do I word this? It can bypass it, right? It's a much better weapon in slot, with much better recoil stats. So if you want to make something like this, it'll cost you... How much is the scope? 45k for the scope. I do not recommend you run this scope. It could be a very good scope, but I don't recommend it. That price is too high. You can now run pretty much the new ACOG, which is crisp. It's solid. I would not run that scope. I wouldn't. Let's see if we can put that scope on the TO3. Probably wouldn't be able to, but I would avoid it if I was you guys. So let me see. T951. I just want to see what this scope looks like. Thank you very much. And then I want to create one more weapon, please. Oops. I accidentally dropped that. I would like to create one more weapon, and that's the TO3. Nah, you won't be able to. You will not be able to do that, unfortunately. But this weapon is best in slot now for this particular ammo. It doesn't take much to kit out. And it really does really well. If you can afford the T5 ammo, they are as good as M62s, just not as much base damage. But it will put in some freaking work, man. Alright, so let me just drop that there quickly. Ooh, it is clean. It's a clean scope. But I wouldn't run it because you don't have a, what do you call it, red dot that you can put in this weapon. So, kind of makes this scope a little bit redundant. Anyways, guys, these are all the massive changes that I think will impact the game significantly. The game has changed forever. And these things are just small testament of how far the developers have come and how much they it's a statement of intent of where this game's going to go. Next season is going to be even better and better and better. High hopes for this game. I'm fully behind the devs. But let me just make one thing clear. I'm not endorsed in any way, not sponsored. If I see something that's shit, I'll call it out. If I see something that's good, I'll give credit where it's due. And for now, I think they've outdone themselves. We can go now and get free keychains from Evita. So you get free storage from Evita. The only thing you cannot get is the composite, right? But I'm sure they'll come in due time. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I do appreciate your time, and I hope to catch you next video. Peace.